Hey YouTube, I just wanted to do um, my version of my 3D Blu Ray collection, which you can see here. It's not quite as impressive as some of the collections that are out there, but it's growing, and I'm just a big 3D Blu Ray enthusiast. Even though I have the Sony Z9 now, and the Oppo 203 and have 4K, I still love 3D, and in many cases prefer that over 4K. So I just wanted to go over my Blu-ray collection and just maybe talk about a couple things here and there as I go through that. Okay, so the first movie I have here is Hugo. This is directed by Martin Scorsese, and actually this is his first movie that was shot in 3D, which is incredible. Because it seems like he has a true understanding for framing and getting the best out of the characters in terms of 3D, with 3D in mind. It's a great movie. It's set back in the 1930s. It captures the magic of cinema. So it's an endearing movie, it's an elegant movie. It's not terribly exciting, so if you're looking for an adventure, this is the wrong one to go to. But if you want a magical movie experience for the family, I definitely recommend this. The next I have is Titanic. This, of course, is James Cameron's, one of his most well-known movies. He's a fantastic director. This was actually a post-conversion done much later than the theatrical release. But Cameron's one of the leading pioneers of 3D presentation, of course, with Avatar. And, it's no coincidence that two of the highest-grossing films of all time worldwide are James Cameron films, with Titanic and Avatar. So he's a great storyteller. A great amount of expense and care was taken in converting this to 3D. There's actually a YouTube video out there that you can find that talks about the process that they went through. And it wasn't haphazard. There was a lot that went into converting this to 3D. And it shows. It's one of the best 3D experiences out there. Terrific depth, especially out on the ocean. Ocean scenes are wonderful for 3D, and you'll hear me comment on that a couple times throughout this video. The next one is Moana. This is a fun movie. It has great, stunning visuals, great depth. And this is the Ultimate Collector's Edition, purchased at Best Buy, of course. And, some of the highlights of this, of course, are not only the characters. I mean, The Rock as Maui, and Aloy, is it Crovano as Moana? I know I didn't pronounce her name correctly, but they do a great job with the voiceover for these characters. The brilliant colors, the open water scenes are standouts in terms of the 3D presentation. You really feel like you're on the boat, and you really get a sense of depth when you're out there on the boat with them. And it's just it's a really fun family film, and it's an animated. And I think I've never seen an animated film that didn't look bad in 3D. But this one in particular is a standout. The next is Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them. This thoroughly demonstrates the impressive 3D presentation with its effects. And there's probably at least a handful, between 5 and 10 standout pop-out scenes, in addition to the great depth. The film was originally designed and directed with 3D in mind, and I think that's why It's such a great 3D presentation. If I had to rank this, definitely would be in my top five, perhaps my top three. It's just with the cinematography utilized in the film, along with some of the effects. It's an amazing 3D experience. One of the best 3D effects is with this little, whatever you want to call that. It looks like it's popping right out of the screen. And there's a cool 3D pop out effect with this little fella as well. It's just a beautiful, beautiful 3D presentation. Would definitely be in my top five. The next would be Pirates of the Caribbean. I don't know what this is in terms of the franchise. Maybe the fifth or sixth, maybe the seventh installment. I'm not sure. I've lost count. The movies have been watered down since the original. The original I absolutely loved, but I'm not a big fan of the ones that followed it. But this is a decent story, and Javier Bardem does a great job in it, and Johnny Depp is of course amazing as always as Captain Jack Sparrow, of course. But it's super fun to watch in 3D. I hear the 4K is terrific on this as well. I don't own it in 4K. But it's got great colors, great depth. The ocean scenes just kind of feel like they go on forever. And there are a few cool pop-out moments throughout the film, which are fun. But this is a great 3D presentation. The next is Pacific Rim. And I didn't know this, but I don't think this was originally intended for 3D, or originally shot and framed and blocked with 3D in mind, which is really surprising because it's a great 3D presentation. This might be my best 3D presentation of all of my movies. It's certainly in the top five. So it's a fun film. It has a film noir kind of look to it. Just an absolutely fun thrill ride. Kind of leave your brains at the door. Just enjoy the movie for what it is. It's directed by Guillermo del Toro, which, if you know his work, this takes on a very similar look to some of his other stuff, like Hellboy. And it's a fun adventure. And in my opinion, the 3D is extremely more immersive than it is in 2D. I mean, I've watched the movie in 2D and I'm like, okay. But in 3D, like, it really sucks you in with the snow falling and the raindrops and the debris that's flying around and the fight sequences between the robots and the aliens. It's a really cool movie to watch in 3D. I would recommend that 10 out of 10 times over the standard Blu Ray or 4K version. Doctor Strange is next. This is the Cinematic Universe edition. This movie was made with 3D in mind, with all of the world bending and magic conjuring and mystic nature. It really lends itself to a really cool 3D experience. And this is one of the ones that shifts aspect ratios. So at times it opens up to full screen, which I think is really cool. I wish more movies did that because it really adds to the immersion and the overall cinematic experience. But just a really cool 3D presentation, great depth, and there are some cool pop-out moments. Not very many, but some notable ones. So if you haven't seen this yet on 3D, I definitely recommend it. The next is, I keep putting my finger in my phone, getting in the way of the camera. The next one is Guardians of the Galaxy. This is the first one. This is a great 3D movie to watch. Opens up, it also changes aspect ratios, which is really cool. Terrific depth. I mean, anytime you're dealing with a movie that takes place in space, I think for the most part you're going to get a great 3D experience, and this is no exception. In addition to that, I mean, it's got vivid colors, really cool scenes, and depth that goes on forever. So definitely one of the better 3D presentations that I have. This is Guardians 2. This is the Steelbook version. It comes with the 4K disc in addition to the 3D Blu-ray and the regular Blu-ray. The 4K on this is beautiful. I mean, it's stunning. It's reference quality in terms of 4K presentation. And it's also reference quality in terms of 3D. This is one of the best 3D Blu-rays out there. It has some frame breaks and depth that goes on forever. It's just an amazing movie in 3D. It really, really sucks you in. So I definitely recommend that one. The next is, I have my Thor Ragnarok Steelbook somewhere, but I've taken the 3D Blu-ray out of that and put it in here, just so I only have one case on my shelf. So I'm just using the 4K packaging to discuss Ragnarok 3D, but this is probably one of my favorite Marvel movies. It's a lot of fun. Chris Hemsworth has really come into his own in terms of that character, and he's he's not a cardboard cutout superhero. I mean, there's a lot of great depth to his character, and the humor in this is super funny, just spot on. The 3D on this is amazing. So is the 4K. But I would, if you said which do you prefer, I would definitely say the 3D over the 4K. Just an amazing movie to watch on 3D. Great effects, great depth, some pop out. It's just super immersive. So I definitely recommend it. The next is Rogue One. And this is a good 3D. This is the Steelbook, of course. It comes with a Blu-ray and the 3D Blu-ray, and it's a good 3D movie. It's especially the last scene. There's the 3D disc right there. That's the DVD, and then of course you have the bonus disc, and then the Blu-rays over here. But a really cool movie, especially that last Vader scene. I mean, you gotta watch that in 3D if you have the opportunity. I mean, it's not the same as watching it in 2D. So that alone would make this a worthwhile purchase. But it's not as, the 3D isn't as immersive as some of my other movies. The depth is okay at times. It's kind of hit or miss. The space scenes are awesome. The fight sequences are really cool. The espionage aspect of it, or the heist aspect of it, if you will, is kind of cool. In the 3D at times with the planets jumping around to the different planets is really cool. But it's good 3D. It's just not the best 3D that I've seen. But I would certainly add it just for that last Vader scene. The Force Awakens is a great 3D presentation. Just like I'm sure everybody else, I bought it when it first came out on Comcast, and then a couple weeks later purchased the disc, and then when this collector's edition came out, I purchased this as well. So they got me 3 times. But it's got a beautiful presentation, great case, and that's the 3D disc right there. It comes with the DVD and Blu-ray. The depth on this is fantastic. The fight sequences, the space scenes, the Millennium Falcon. It's just that battle, or that chase on Jakku when they first get into the Millennium Falcon is super cool to watch in 3D. And I believe it's chapter, I don't remember what chapter it is. Chapter 19, maybe 20. There's a point where the Star Destroyer literally comes out of the screen. It is the best 3D pop-out effect that I've ever seen. This movie, so yes, this movie has, it doesn't have as many pop-out moments that other 3D presentations do, but that is by far the best 3D pop-out I have ever seen. I mean, it looks like the Star Destroyer is coming out 5 feet from the screen. I mean, that's how pronounced it is. It's incredible. This is the Last Jedi 4K 3D Blu-ray and Blu-ray combo pack. I bought this on eBay. Don't get me started about this movie. I'm just not going to go there. But definitely disappointed in the movie. In terms of 3D, I prefer the 3D over the 4K. And I think there are a couple of reviews out there that state that the 4K is lukewarm. It doesn't really seem to add a whole lot over the standard 1080p movie. And I agree with that. But the 3D is super cool on this. It's I really enjoyed it. It's very clean, very little to no crosstalk. So I definitely recommend the 3D version over the 4K. Suicide Squad. This movie's terrible, but I had to buy it on 3D just to add to my collection. I did it very early on, and I actually haven't watched this on 3D. I don't know if I could sit through this movie again, but there you go. X-Men Days of Future Past, one of the better movies in the X-Men installment. Great action, and the 3D on this is really, really good. There's the back of the disc. It's just a really good movie, and the 3D on it, because of the action sequences and because of the set design and the blocking, it really lends itself to 3D. To a good 3D presentation. So that's a cool one to add to your collection if you get an opportunity. Next would be The Martian, and I really enjoy this in 3D. The 2D is also good. I really like this movie, and I think Matt Damon did a great job in this. But the 3D, I mean, the scenes on Mars really stand out in 3D. I mean, it just feels like it goes on forever. It feels like you're standing there with Matt Damon. I mean, it is. The frame of the TV goes away, and it just looks like you're looking through a window out at Matt Damon, standing there on Mars with him as he's going through this experience. It's just the landscape, the Mars landscape in 3D is jaw-dropping. So if you get a chance to see that on 3D, I definitely recommend it. Let's go over here. Warcraft in 3D. I actually haven't seen this one yet. I hear it's pretty good. I got this for like 10 or 11 bucks online. I think I bought it on eBay. But I had heard some good things about it on one of my 3D Facebook groups. And so I just added it to the collection. One of these days I'll get around to watching it. Civil War, this is the collector's edition. It comes with the Blu-ray 3D, Blu-ray, and digital HD. Probably one of the better Marvel superhero movies. Definitely in my top three or four. It's directed by the Russo brothers, which also did Infinity War. So just an amazing story. Again, I mean, it's impressive how they fit a coherent story, how they put a coherent story together with so many different actors. I mean, look at the various actors in this movie. You know, Chris Evans, Robert Downey Jr., Scarlett Johansson, Sebastian Stan, Anthony Mackie, Don Cheadle, Jeremy Renner, Chadwick Boseman, Paul Bettany, Elizabeth Olsen, and Daniel Bruhl. I mean, it's... And that doesn't include Tom Holland, you know, Spider-Man. I mean, they fit so many characters in this, and it's visually stunning in 3D. And I think the 3D is augmented by the fact that it's just such a cool story. Great action scenes, great emotion. They really know when to dial it down and get quiet, and then when to ration it back up again and get loud. And one of the best Marvel movies out there, and the 3D on this is terrific. So if you get a chance, I definitely recommend picking that up. This is Beauty and the Beast 3D. I think I spent like 50 bucks on this. I don't know what it's going for now, but I actually haven't watched it yet. But I hear the 3D on it is fantastic. It's region free, of course, as you can see. It's an import. But Blu-ray 3D, and also includes the 2D Blu-ray. And Yeah, not much else, but one of these days I will get around to watching it. Next we have Spider-Man, The Amazing Spider-Man 2. Not the best movie in the world, but the colors really are extremely vivid and really stand out. And there are some great moments where the brightness of the Sony Z9 that I have really demonstrate its capability. So great colors, extremely vivid colors, visually a very impressive movie, and it has some great 3D, especially in the opening sequence. There's some cool pop out, and also has some great depth. So if you're just talking about 3D presentation, I would definitely include it in your collection. If you're talking about the movie itself, it's one of those I can probably do without. But as a true 3D fan, I recommend adding it to your collection. The next is Spider-Man Homecoming. This is a super fun movie to watch. Tom Holland he's such a good Spider-Man, and you really come to appreciate him even more in Civil War and then Infinity War. Man, that scene in Infinity War in the end was just heart-wrenching. I don't want to spoil it, but I really enjoy this character with his acting, and has great chemistry with Robert Downey Jr. / Iron Man. Good 3D, not the best 3D, but when Spider-Man's shooting his webs and flying around, I mean that's gonna in and of itself be kind of cool to see in 3D. So and that's what you have here. Next is Ant-Man. This is a really good 3D movie, and it was surprising because it was a departure from what we had seen in the other Marvel movies leading up to this. And now you see it more with Ragnarok and some of the other ones. I mean, the humor's been dialed up quite a bit, and they're making the characters a little more relatable. At first, they weren't super relatable and a little bit dry. And this was, I think, the first movie that really took the humor to another level. And it doesn't help that Paul Rudd is extremely relatable in this. He's an average Joe who came across, a circumstance that put him in this world of superheroes. And he's not a superhero by nature, and I just think that's what made the movie so compelling. But it's the 3D on this is great, especially when he's Ant-Man size. It's just really cool to see in 3D. And I definitely recommend it. Wonder Woman, what can I say? I know there aren't as many DCEU fans out there, and maybe that's warranted. They certainly haven't produced at the same level as the Marvel Universe. But I like Batman vs Superman, especially the Ultimate Edition. And I enjoyed Justice League. I thought it was really good. It's really good on 4K and in 3D. But Gal Gadot is probably, if DCEU has success in the future, they owe it to Gal Gadot, because she is by far the best character in this franchise. And this has great 3D, great depth, some really cool pop out. There's a scene when they're fighting on the beach with the Germans, and this guy fires his rifle, and it looks like the bullet is coming right out at you. So cool. A couple other cool pop-out moments as well, but great depth, great cinematography, beautiful colors, beautiful story, and terrific acting. And you really sense the chemistry in this movie between her and I forget the other guy's name, but that's him right there. I can't remember his name. I'll remember it as soon as I go on to the next thing. But great chemistry, great story, great 3D. Definitely a must-have for your collection. Despicable Me is next. Great movie. It's animated, so it's always going to have great 3D. And I love these movies. And Steve Carell does a great job. All right, I'm gonna kind of speed through these because I'm at the 25-minute mark. Finding Nemo Ultimate Collector's Edition, Blu-ray 3D. What can I say? It's animated, so it's a plus in the 3D category just because of that. And then on top of that, the underwater scenes just really lend itself to 3D. So if you're looking for a cool 3D experience, I definitely recommend Finding Nemo. And then, of course, Finding Dory. Same thing. The underwater scenes in 3D are truly something to behold. So definitely recommend. I've got Zootopia here. Cool story. Great message. Very topical, very contemporary for today. But it's a lot of fun. And it's got a cool lenticular cover. I don't know if you can see that, but yeah, you can see it moving a little bit. But great 3D movie. Despicable Me 2, just like the first. Amazing 3D. Great story. Steve Carell, again, terrific job in that. Avatar, this is the one that started it all. James Cameron. He is the master when it comes to 3D and when it comes to cinematography and when it comes to storytelling. And this is one of the best it still stands up today as one of the best, if not the best 3D presentation. iRobot 3D, I bought this just because I love the movie, and the 3D purchase was worthwhile. I mean, it's good 3D. It's not the best 3D that I've seen, but it was an inexpensive pickup. I think it was like $10, and definitely worth it, especially if you like the story. And Will Smith did great in that. Then we have Predator 3D. What can I say? Can you go wrong with Schwarzenegger in the jungle with an alien that's hunting him down? I mean, the jungle, just like underwater scenes, jungle scenes sort of lend themselves to great 3D just because of the depth, and you feel like you're in that environment with them, which is really cool from an immersion standpoint. Sort of adds to that movie watching experience. Passengers, I wish there were more combo discs with the 4K and the Blu Ray 3D combined. This is amazing on 4K. It's amazing on 3D. Most of it's set. I mean, it's set, not most of it. I mean, there's a lot of on the ship scenes, but there's a lot of space scenes, and it's just visually stunning to look at. I definitely recommend. Blade Runner 2049. I love the movie. Visually, cinematically, just one of the best movies. This is a Villanueva movie as well. He's a fantastic director, and but I prefer the 4K over the 3D. You know, the depth is good. There's no pop out. I think that the 4K is better. Prometheus, I enjoyed the movie. You're on an alien planet, so that really lends itself to the 3D. I mean, the depth just goes on and on and on, and you're in this strange alien world with this truly immersive experience. And it's a really cool experience to be a part of. So I definitely recommend that. This is the Amazing Spider-Man 1. Not as good as the second. Again, if you're a 3D fan, I recommend getting it just for the simple fact that it's worthwhile in terms of 3D, but it's not the best 3D that I've seen, and it's certainly not the best Spider-Man movie. This is the one that started it all for me. I originally bought the Sony A50C and a pair of 3D glasses and thought I would give this a try. And it's incredible. I mean, Everest is just the kind of movie that is made for a 3D presentation. I mean, with its landscapes and the treacherous terrain. I mean, the frame of the TV for this one truly disappears. I mean, it just feels like you're on Everest with them. And it's really heightens the experience. So I definitely recommend that. The last couple, Jurassic World, movie was good. You know, I'm a big Chris Pratt fan. It has really good 3D, not the best 3D that I've seen. This comes with a cool lenticular cover, but it's a good 3D movie. Jurassic Park, post-conversion, obviously. This has good 3D. It might be better than Jurassic World. But I love this movie. I love the music. I love the cinematography. I love the story. and it's perfect for 3D, and they did a great job in the post conversion. This is probably one of my best 3D Blu-rays that I have. It's The Last Night. The story's a little difficult to get through. These stories are getting really stupid, but there is some really cool pop out in this movie. There's probably at least 5 or 6 really cool pop out scenes, and towards the end when they're fighting with the jets flying through, and Optimus Prime is on his home planet. Those are really cool scenes to see in 3D. So I would recommend getting this. This is a definite must-buy in my opinion, just for the 3D, even though the movie's a little bit tough. Age of Extinction, IMAX 3D. Oh, and this is also, the aspect ratio changes. And so you get the full screen at times, which is cool. And then the same with this. Again, movie's okay. 3D is amazing. I would get the Transformer movies just for the 3D. I think they're worthwhile. And if you got kids, the kids are going to like it, you know? So it's a good family movie watching experience. And then this is Dark of the Moon. Again, limited 3D edition. Beautiful lenticular cover. I mean, the covers on these things are beautiful. I mean, look at that. I mean, the cover's got like a 3-dimensional look to it. More so than any other one that I have. Again, not the best movie in the world. Michael Bay, you know, it's a popcorn movie. Check your brain at the door and just enjoy it for what it is. And, you know, you'll get some value out of it, especially if you have a chance to watch it in 3D. The 3D movies are fantastic for the Transformers. Okay, guys, that's it. I will make another video soon. Thank you for watching, and I appreciate it as always. And I'll talk to you soon. Bye bye.